Hi,
Okay.
Emily.
How you doing?
Doing good. What about you?
Pretty good.
Awesome. So you're leading us, right? I think. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're leading us. Let me just go over the
Yeah.
script real quick. Uh,
Yeah.
sorry, I just got out the B-Tech booth, so a little disorganized, but I'll get ready
No
right on
worries.
time.
Totally understandable.
Mm.
I'm just gonna just let you know. I'm gonna just click through the slides
Mm-hmm.
at what I feel like is an even pace because I'm not really sure.
Hey guys, can you
What's the
hear and
best?
see me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Awesome.
Mm. Oh, it's 12:17 already.
Okay, I think I'm having a bit of trouble with my internet connection.
No worries.
We'll start in just a few minutes, everyone.
Well, welcome to MacEng Hangouts. Everyone can hear us, right? Yeah.
Hi to everyone that's coming in. Maybe if you guys want to like engage in the chat, let us know if you guys have been to Max campus before, if you any spots that seem memorable or what you most want to come visit. If we could actually be there, that'd be fun. Introduce yourself, say hello.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Can everyone see that all right? Okay, guys. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for this My Go-To MacEng Spots. It'll be a way for us to showcase some of our favorite Faculty of Engineering spaces, plus a little bit of others within the mix. Although we can't do a physical tour while we're online with you, we hope that this will help make you guys understand why we love our campus so much. Let's take a moment first to introduce all the students that are with us for this session. So I'll go first. My name is Emily, and I am a second-year software engineering student at McMaster.
My name is Vidit Lingraja. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm a third-year BTech automotive student.
My name is
Omar,
Omar
you wanna go?
Sabri, and I'm a third-year electrical engineering student.
And my name is Julia, and I am in my third year of mechatronics, and I biomed here at Mac.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Let's get right into it then, shall we? I think before we jump into most of our indoor spaces, we'll share a glimpse with you guys into our beautiful campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do not have to look far to see how beautiful McMaster is, no matter the season that we're in. The trees are green and luscious in the spring and the summer. They change in the autumn, and it all becomes a winter wonderland when it starts to snow. We're located on 300 acres, and we have our own community here that makes it so easy to discover everything that Mac has to offer. Our campus is pedestrian only, and it's closed to cars except for the Hamilton bus route that passes through, which, by the way, is an awesome way to explore Hamilton if you're in the area. With our campus, you can easily walk 10 to 15 minutes from the farthest side to the other. There are so many outdoor spaces to relax, study, hang out, or play sports. And we're even located on Coots Paradise, which is a nature reserve. So there's so many awesome, beautiful spaces and opportunities to go take a hike if you need a study break and stuff like that. You could see in some of the pictures Emily's showing here that there's old architecture, and we have a faculty hollow out here with various gardens, and there are plenty of events that happen in this area on campus. Next up, I'm going to pass it on to Omar, who can talk a little bit more about where you could find our MacEng students most of the time.
All right, thank you, Julia. So this is known as the JHE, also known as Hodgins Engineering Building, and that is usually where most engineering students are located. So as you can see, it's a very nice building, and it has a lot of outdoor spaces where you can study, but also a lot of indoor spaces. So as you can see here, this is the called the Iron Ring, and it's a very famous ring that you get once you graduate and go through the oath and ceremony, and it's to remind us of the responsibilities of an engineer, and whenever you sign a contract or anything, to know the dangers of not reviewing something correctly, and that is due of a past event in Quebec where a bridge collapsed. So since then, engineers are supposed to wear a ring to remind us of our responsibilities, and our job is very serious and to be taken serious. And as you can see here, these are like the common areas inside of the building. So as you can see, the lighting is very nice. It's a very nice place to chill, to study, to meet new people in engineering. And fun fact about that, that there's also a piano in this common room. So sometimes you're gonna be finding students playing some melodies or symphonies, and that can help you like relax, especially during midterm season. It can like you can loosen up a little. So I find that very nice. Also, you can find a lot of workshops inside of the engineering building, and you can like work on so many labs and so many projects, which can be useful, especially for fourth year students who have like capstones and like big projects to do. And finally, I would like to say that there's also like a tradition for graduating students called like Kipling pranks, where usually the graduating year would come up with some sort of a prank or a joke, so they can like remember it by. And over the years, we've had like plenty of them, such as like mazes on campus and all of that. So I find that really fun, and I look forward to it. And just a little fun fact: there was a movie, Netflix movie called Awake, and it was actually filmed inside of JHE, where they turned the engineering building into a medical building, which I find kind of ironic. But yeah, so that's a fun fact.
Speaking of spaces that are popular amongst the Faculty of Eng students, let's check out Thode Library. Thode is the engineering and science library on campus. It has loads of different kinds of study spaces, so there's a place for everyone no matter what your study habits are. You can find silent study, group study, or solo study areas in the 3 floors that are available. My personal favorite are the cubicles on the first floor. They're not too isolated, but they're definitely quiet enough to stop me from getting distracted while I'm studying. What's really convenient about Thode is that there's a cafeteria on the first floor. This makes it super easy just to take a quick break between those long hours of studying without having to pack up all your things just when you want to go grab some lunch. Next up, in the basement of Thode is where you can find the Thode Makerspace, which in my opinion is probably one of the coolest parts of this library. The Makerspace is where you're going to head if you're working on a personal project, or maybe if you're working on something with a technical team like Mars Rover. All engineering students have access to the 3D printers and other facilities and workshops that are available within this space.
All right. So now we'll move on to the engineering technology building. The makerspace can be a great way to test out some new equipment and work on projects, but ETB, which is the engineering technology building, there are a lot of awesome spaces for students. So this is a pretty, as you can see, this beautiful glass building located right in front of Main Street, across from Shoppers, if anyone's been to campus. It's been built recently, and it's usually for technology kids like me, who's in BTech. And there's a bunch of rooms where there's labs and all kinds of stuff where we have a lot of cool technology for students to come by and also work on their labs. I've had multiple classes here. Sadly, because of COVID, during my second year, I didn't get a chance to get to do some of the awesome machinery here. But there's a lot of opportunities, as well as tutorial rooms in second floor where I had a lot of my classes. A lot of midnight study sessions were set there where you can come in and still sit in a bunch of empty classrooms to study. There's some there's some study rooms in the basement as well that can be booked from the 5th floor. And not a lot of people know about those, so that you can find some nice spots to study, as well as the chemistry lab in ETB are really awesome because you have fume hoods and all kinds of accessories that you would need, and a lot of safety equipment, as well as lockers. And also there's a booster juice in ETB, which is a nice spot in between classes where you can just go. There's little couches and some study areas where you can just grab some juice, relax. And there's also some nice pizza spots across the building, across the road in the nursing building. And here's this awesome elliptical computer science room that we have where it basically allows voices to be heard across the room. So, which is awesome. And that's one of many in the world. And passing it on to Julia.
Absolutely. So it's a little now I'm going to talk a little bit about one of our newer spaces, like the iBiomed Design Studio, which is located in the ABB building. So at the iBiomed Design Studio, there is basically a ton of equipment available for the use of iBiomed students, and Engineering One have their own spaces just like it. So in this room, there's all the equipment you can imagine, from 3D printers, as you could see like in the back there, to soldering machines, to different Raspberry Pis and computers that could be set up, anything that you could need for any one of your design projects. Speaking of design projects, well, 1P10 is the iBiomed course where you're able to do those. At McMaster Engineering, we're very big on experiential learning, and in 1P10, and if you're in Eng 1, 1P13, that is where you're going to do all that. As you can see in this picture here, Dr. McDonald, who is the instructor of one of the experiential learning courses, is working with the Quanser bot, or with the QBot, in one of their design projects here. And it has been such a great experience just to be able to gain experience hands-on in an engineering setting right from first year, working on design projects such as ostomy bags, hip implants, and even products for specific patients in mind. And it was definitely one of my favorite courses to do, and I hope that you guys, if you consider MacEng, will think the same thing. And I'll pass it on to our next space that will be featured.
Right. And as our next space, of course, we can't have a chat about campus without talking about the Student Center. Although not fully MacEng related, there's always so much happening here. And the McMaster University Student Center, also known as MUSC, is at the center of campus, and you can fill your day here easily. There's a bunch of areas to sit down and relax. Well, because of COVID, you have to show your vaccine, but hopefully that will change going forward. But of course, you have to, if you're coming to campus, you have to complete your Mac Pass and all that. There's a bunch of study areas. There's some awesome food areas you can visit. And it's just a really nice area to hang out between classes and grab some food and relax and meet friends. And there's also some cool little hidden gems around where you can walk around, and there's a Tim Hortons. We have our own little market. We can get some snacks. We have our coffee shops in the basement, like The Grind, and all kinds of fun little things to visit. As well as we also do have our campus stores. You can get cool merch like this, of course, representing Master and having fun. There's a bunch of awesome stuff, but there's always sales. And it's also a nice opportunity to get a job if you're looking for a job during your stay at Mac. Make some little extra cash on the side. We also have a bunch of areas to study and just relax. Like a lot of times there's a study floor on the second floor, and so a lot of times before midterms I'd head out there, and they'd be open pretty late. Most of the place is closed, but you have access to a bunch of the study areas, so you can head up and study before midterms and all that. And also there's a really nice terrace. It's just a nice area to relax. Sometimes you want to sit down, get some classes done, or just relax and hang out. As well as a really nice terrace. Sometimes I like to grab food and just go up to the terrace, which is in the next slide, and just have a nice view. And just, yeah, it's a really nice area to come through campus, and it's a center of attention for everything. And sending it off to Omar.
Thank you, Vinna. So earlier I was talking about JHE, and Hatch is kind of related because the Gerald Hatch Center is actually connected to the JHE, and there's like kind of like hallway to pass by, which is called known as like the junction. As you can see here, those sort of like garages are like basically workspaces and like workshops to work on certain projects. So there's one of them that's like really famous is called Baja Racing, and basically what they do is work on a car, build a car and work on it, and make a race at the end of the semester. And as you can see here, that's like the famous McMaster Fireball logo. And so as you can see inside, there's a lot of nice spaces to hang out and communicate with others, and also work. I really like the Hatch Center because personally I like to go work there because you can directly go after finishing your engineering lectures from JHE, go directly to Hatch, get a little work done, and as you can see, the lighting is very nice and the colors too, so that helps me study. And you can see there's multiple lounges as people tend to go there. And here's the junction, the one I was talking about. And it's like a little space to hang out and to complete some assignments. Also, fun fact about, so as you can see here, there's like all those like workspaces I mentioned, such as like McMaster Baja Racing. There's also like the solar car panel with which they try to work on a car based on the solar energy, so a lot of good projects. And in Hatch, you can also find a lot of good resources, such as like academic advising. So personally, like first year, whenever I had like any doubts about my program, I wanted to ask more about a course, see if I'm doing good, all of that. There's always people to help you there, such as co-op services, because if you're enrolled in a co-op program, you're gonna have to do a 12-month term in order to have it in your certificate. So you can go ask people, they're gonna help you settle for interviews, your LinkedIn, your resume, and all of that. So I find all of these resources very useful, and that's why Hatch is one of my favorite. And yeah, as you can see here, as I said, those are like the workshops areas that you can work on projects.
Well, thank you everyone so much for sharing all of your thoughts on these different spaces within campus. We definitely covered a lot of the different areas in just such a short amount of time. There's still so much though for you guys to explore and learn about the campus that you just might have to book an in-person or a virtual tour in order to discover these other spaces, just in case we didn't do a good enough job. But we promise you that whether it's in classrooms, community spaces, or within our many pathways throughout campus, there is absolutely no shortage of excitement and activity available for you guys to experience here at Mac. Now, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We still have a little bit of time left in our slot here, so we'll answer some of those live. What's so special about Mac Eng? That's a loaded question, to be honest.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, right now we have a bunch of booths that you can head over to and go through and ask all kinds of questions about all kinds of our programs. But
I can answer the what's so special about Mac Eng. I would say the community. Like when I was coming
Definitely.
to the school, like I didn't even consider that. I was very focused on academic and program quality, and that was my selling factor. But when I got here, I was like just like blown away by the kindness of everyone and the fact that everyone is so supportive and really wants you to succeed, both like academically and socially as well. So that's what I would say.
To add on a little to Julia, I had like the same experience. Like when I came to visit Mac, I found like everyone, especially in libraries, everyone's trying to like unify, everyone's trying to help each other, which you don't find a lot in other universities. But I really like the fact that people are like unified and they're not as competitive as each other, but instead they're trying to succeed together. And that was definitely one of the big factors that I saw about Mac.
Yeah, I feel like that also kind of answers the why did you choose McMaster question. I totally agree with you guys. The community here is just really unlike anything you can find anywhere else. Someone's asking, are the study spaces usually quite full or can you usually get the one you want? There's so many spaces on campus that you can find somewhere to study. Plus in Hatch, you can actually book rooms so that you know that it's going to be available for you and you can go there. They're really great for like team meetings and stuff too. But yeah, there's a couple of spots.
Yeah, there's
like
also like the third
Anyone
basement. I find it there's like a lot of nice rooms where you can like book them and like work on projects and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Favorite spot to eat.
Okay, another question.
Sorry, no, you can go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say someone's asking, where's your favorite place to eat?
Yeah,
you guys know
a spot that not a lot of people go to, but I tried getting into it right before COVID hit was Bridges, because a lot of times you have like there's a lot of good food all over campus, but sometimes it's not the most healthiest. in the sense that you can get it's a lot of fried food and all kinds. It feels a little fast food, but sometimes I used to go to Bridget and like, wow, this food's like it's like a little bit of it feels more healthy and it's also really good as well as simple, which you can find in Central, which is near the residential buildings as well as in Musk. What about you guys?
I personally like Bistro because it was like always a place I'd go to after midterms and stuff, especially with the whole restaurant vibes and like the very nice lighting. Unfortunately, I think no, actually they just opened like a week ago or something like that because they were closed due to Corona, but like now they opened back up, and yeah, I'm really happy that they opened it.
For me, I would say like the hidden gem of like food that I get. Then I think you mentioned it is the nursing buildings like mini pizzas.
Just mini pizzas, yeah.
Like they're just always a hit, and they're
Yeah.
so easy to get, and I can just grab them and go, and they're a good food choice if you're looking for something quick.
A little,
and
a little
good.
short snack. It's just a small box of pizza. You can
Yeah,
eat them on
it's
the way to
perfect.
class or in between your class. That's perfect.
yeah, it's a solid choice.
What about you, Emily?
Yeah, I can't say that I really have a favorite place. Unfortunately, like my first year was all
Alright.
online, so I didn't get to experience
Yeah.
residence, right? So I never got to explore the food places last year. And then now this year when I go on campus, I usually pack a lunch. So I try to
That's
save my money. So I wish I could say. I do go to
Mhm.
La Piazza sometimes though, in the student center. I like the vibes in there. It's kind of nice to study and eat at the same time sometimes.
What is like?
Okay, we have Colin asking, what is residence like?
Can't
Obviously, I
answer
can't
that
answer that
either.
one.
Julie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can answer that. So I loved residence. Like it was one of like my favorite experiences, and I look back at first year like that was such a blast. Even though my first year did get cut short, but I lived in Peter George Center for Living and Learning, and it was like the new building. It still is a new building, but I was like the first cohort to live there, and it was just like such an awesome experience to kind of always be around people that would be like studying and working. And I got really close with my roommate, and we're like best friends like still. So I really liked residence because it was a great way to make friends and adjust to the new university environment.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way as Julia. Like it's an awesome experience to have. I lived in Hedden, which is one of the engineering community buildings, and you just get to meet a bunch of awesome people, and then you get to stay around those people. Like a lot of times, you go to classes, and it's like, oh, you live in this building or this building. We want to study together, and you guys hang out, and then grab food together, and then it's just a really easy way to get a part of the community, and just make friends and all that stuff, and make friends with your roommates, and it was really a fun experience.
Yeah, that sounds really great, guys. I definitely, I'm still bitter that I missed out on that. But yeah, I love Peter George. Like I
Yeah.
go there to study all the
It's
time.
my go-to.
No, I
study
remember it was
Such
like
a
it was
nice-
like a big deal for like the 2023 class because we were like the first people to get to have the privilege of doing that. And it was like such a nice experience, like because I had friends there too, so I would go study with them, and it was like really nice.
Yeah, and thanks to PG, you guys opened up spaces. So like buildings like Hedden and stuff, we didn't have bunk beds. We were able to have two. Like it used to be, I believe, like sometimes we'd have 3 to 4 per room. And thanks to PG, it opened up all the rooms, so it was only 2. So thankfully, I had a bunch of space. So
Yeah.
you guys won, we won. It was awesome.
I don't know. We won a little bit more with our double beds, probably.
Yeah.
It's just a little friendly residence competition.
Exactly. Any other questions, guys? Also,
Okay, well, I have a question for you guys then. What is your go-to study spot on campus?
All right, Vin, if you can start off with
it
this one.
it definitely is. If I'm gonna study with a group of friends, definitely PG, just because there's a second cup there, and I can just grab some coffee or like grab food nearby. Central's right across the street. But I know a lot of my friends like study at Hatch. It's because Hatch has like a lot of nice, especially as an engineering student, you can go by study rooms, and it's just a really comfy area to study and like just focus on. So if I was trying to get some really grind out some work, I'd go to Hatch. But if I'm working on like projects together with friends or just want to hang out with friends while I'm studying, I definitely go to PG.
All right. So, as I said before, I used to work. I used to study a lot at Hatch because it has like good lighting. It's very close to JHE. You can directly go from like your lectures to Hatch, so that was nice. But I'm gonna have also like the most basic answer and say Thode, because I don't know, like it's a very nice library. It's very big. There's a lot of floors. There's like if you don't like the first floor, you can go to the second one. You can go to the basement if you really want like to concentrate on a task because it's like the quiet area. So yeah, I like Thode.
I would probably have the same answer as Mehmet. I definitely PG is my favorite. It just the buildings are nice and there's good lighting and everything's like updated and pretty. So it's a good solid environment to study in, I would say.
Yeah, for me, like I love Thode for silence. It's not really super silent there, but like I find it so easy just for like doing my own thing and getting work done. A place that we didn't actually mention is Mills. I like to go to Mills Library as well, because it's so huge. Like there are so many spots in there, like that. I swear, every time I go there, like I end up somewhere new. It's
Yeah, it's there's always new spots to check out, and there's so many floors. I think I don't even know how
Yeah,
many
there's
floors
like
there
there's
are.
4, I
6
think,
floors, I
or
think.
6. Yeah,
Six,
something like
yeah.
that.
And then there's
Actually,
also a
there's like
research
a hidden.
section. Pardon?
There's like a hidden spot that I found first year and it was like crazy. There's like on the 4th floor, I believe, for like the market space or whatever. There's like a video game area. So that was like they literally have like a console there and you can literally choose a game and like go play there. So I would recommend you guys to like check out once you come to campus because I was flattered that like I actually tried it and it was so much fun. So yeah.
I did
Awesome.
not know they had that.
Yeah,
That's
there's
so
Yeah,
just
I
cool.
know.
there's so
I
many
was
things to
blown
explore.
away.
All right, which
Okay, there's another question in the chat. Which residence would you recommend for first year students?
I think
Vinay?
everyone would say their own residence. Like
Yeah.
from people that stay to like you just have a good experience wherever you are. So I wouldn't say that there's like a best option. What Mac does have that's cool though are their living and learning communities. So I think Philip mentioned that he was in Hedden, which is typically where the it's an innovation living learning community is. So it's a great way to kind of build a community with people that have similar interests to you. So that's kind of something that you might want to consider if you're applying to res is joining one of those LLCs.
There's a question like what's PG? So it's like I believe it's the newest building, right? It's the newest one, right?
Yeah.
It's the newest building at McMaster, and it's a residence, but also you can have some lectures there, and there's like study spaces there.
Yeah, you'll see it's next to the football field. Next to if you ever notice where the football field is, it's the giant glass building right in the center. It's hard to miss, and that became a res. So like I think like the first 3 floors, like the basement is lecture halls and like study areas. We have living learning community. My fault, Julia. It's then you have like the main floor, which is also more lectures. Then above that is when you have residences. So the entire top floors are all residences. Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we're all out of time, but thank you so much, everyone, for joining and for listening to us talk about our favorite spots on campus and for asking those great questions at the end. Really appreciate that. But I hope you guys have fun with the rest of this event.
All right. It was fun talking with all you guys. See ya.
Yeah, nice talking to
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for coming,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.